Attention, people. Welcome to the Yeah Come On Show podcast. I'm Southside Steve, and this is my co-host, Jeff Cole. Look at me as Johnny. Look at him as Ed.
Or Conan and Andy. I mean, I think I'm a little more attractive than Andy Richter.
Okay, what about the dude that did Late Night that had the robot with the mohawk? The one that hits on girls all the time. He's no longer on. He always leaned in. He was English. He leaned back in his chair.
Craig Ferguson?
Yes. I'm Craig Ferguson.
You're Craig Ferguson. I'm the robot?
You're the robot, the Mohawk robot that says really nasty things, but I'd rather you not. This show is really perfect for Jeff and I because we have thrown spaghetti at the wall. We have a lot of stains on our wall. A few things have stuck, but not to the degree we want it to stick. Also, a new term we're going to use is wind in the face. Why? Because it came up on a track 13 on Fox FM, which Jeff and I host. It's called the Southside Ride. It's our radio show. You can go to the app anywhere in the nation on my Fox FM and listen to us from 6 to 10. But we played a track 13 because Jeff and I were both 30 years corporate radio, 20 years, morning show DJ, morning show host, morning show co-host, DJ.
Now I'm an air personality, right?
Kinda.
Oh,
No, he is.
Totally, yeah.
We've had a 1-year anniversary. Jeff is my co-host, but we came up with track 13 where we play songs that corporate America will not play, and it's entertaining because they either played it once, played it for a little bit, but stopped playing it because it didn't test well. We don't test our music. We go with our gut. We go with our vibe, the way program directors used to do. And maybe there's a song on an album that radio never played, but because you bought it, you like that song. That's what track 13 is. And we played a Scorpions song that hit home with our podcast. Our podcast is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business. And the Scorpions song was talking about wind in the face.
Wind in the face. It was Don't Stop at the Top. What was the name?
Yeah, don't stop at the top. In other words,
keep going.
Keep going.
And
Go
that's
as
what we're
far
doing.
as you can go. Don't ever talk over me again. That's a problem. I'm kidding. But it's wind in the face, so that's another term we're going to use. Do you have a wind burn because you keep trying? And we're going to talk about a lot of failure on here, and we're going to have fun with it. And our guests are going to have thick skin. But, Jeff, we talk to different types of people.
Yeah, we're going to kind of pivot a little bit on this episode because we've had musicians. We had the great Billy Gardell, who has made it in show business, literally.
I would say his spaghetti stuck pretty good when you do 11 years of 2 different sitcoms.
Yeah.
You work with Melissa McCarthy with, that show, Mike and Molly, was huge. And then you're a stand-up comedian, successful.
Yeah. So, but we're not just doing show business stuff. We want to have other entrepreneurs, inventors, maybe some chefs, people trying to pursue their dreams. And
you always mention chefs. Do you want to cook?
I'm a good cook. I do like that, but I like chefs because they have a lot of passion in what they're trying to do.
It's like even a celebrity bartender, so to speak. Anybody that has a niche that they want to publicize, that they think that can take them to the top. Do you have a product that you've manufactured that you think is the best? Maybe it looks the best, functions the best, and that's what we're doing here today. The Yeah Come On Show, again, life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business, and our tagline.
Unsolicited material, because that's what you send out when you're trying to come up with new ideas to get out there and get published or produced or whatever.
Yeah, think about it. Have you sent out like flyers?
Resumes.
Have you put stuff, resumes?
It's not resumes.
Jeff sent out enough glossies that everybody should have a picture of him.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that have rocks in a bag, in a Ziploc with a business card, and they toss it in your driveway.
The cleaners. A lot of cleaners do that trick.
Who the hell taught them to do that?
To see, you got to get your unsolicited material out there one way or the other, whether it takes a bag of rocks or...
Yeah, sometimes it's flyers on a car or flyers on a mailbox. This next individual, I met him when I moved into my subdivision, and he was in the cul-de-sac, and they said, this guy's got a great product. When my wife saw it, she had a heart attack. When he came in today to do this show in our studio, the 2 girls downstairs that work for Oxygen Financial had a heart attack and both ran up the stairs to meet him and like, what was that? We just saw you collapse something in seconds. What is that cooler? What is that, a stroller? He's an inventor, and it's called the Veer, V-E-E-R. I have had one thanks to him. He's one of the inventors. It's right here in Alpharetta is one of their headquarters, and he is a friend, an entrepreneur, and I'm going to have to say, an engineer. That's a lot of stuff.
That's what we're going to get into.
And we're getting into it right now. Welcome to the show, Andrew Bowman.
All right.
There we go. He's in. Notice the clothes. See, now we're matchy-matchy. I went with a blue theme, and everything's the gray and the Veer hat. And
I got the gray on too. Look at that.
I know, it's good. I like it. We all
matchy works, right?
Matchy always works, doesn't it? But you've got to sometimes wear it. Like I wear a Yeah Come On hat almost every day of my life, and you wear the Veer. You got to, because you're a walking billboard. And when people see that, they're like, "What's that?"
Well,
No, it doesn't matter. He lost his hair at 12. It's unbelievable. You know why? Because he was taking pills to make him smarter, and his hair fell out. No, that's a lie.
Solid trade.
I think you got a great head. We've had 3 bald guys on lately, and they've got great heads. I have a horrible head. How's yours?
I haven't seen it, but I fear it because I've considered doing the Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer looks good doing it. See, I've got this little bone on the back, and then I've got a dent here from falling, and I'm like, I'm not going to look good. My middle brother's a great-looking head, Jason Statham head. I'm like, yeah, I hate you, because then you don't care. But we're not here to talk about hair regrowth. We're talking about the Veer and all things Veer. How can they find the Veer, first off?
Very easy. Just Google it. Veer Gear, www.goveer.com, Amazon, lots of retailers.
Nobody else is close to it, right? The Veer, you own it. It's not like there's a Veer out there to make it confusing.
Nope.
I hate when companies do that, where it's so close to something else. Sometimes when you have nothing, you do that, which is why we are Fox FM, because we have nothing, and we're trying to act like we might be the real Fox. And if that confuses you and you love my show, thank you for watching.
So first I want to ask, is this your full time? This is your business. This is your living.
Yeah, we launched
you've gotten that far.
2017, and full time since then.
All right.
Yep.
Full time since then. So what we're going to do now is trace the steps to getting to this point. And when we get to this point, if you haven't seen the Veer or heard of it, you're going to be impressed and amazed, because anytime I'm out with one, people want to ask me, where is it, who is it, where do you get it? So I carry business cards, Andrew's business cards, and hand them out. But before all of this, the success, I want to know, did you throw any spaghetti against the wall? Did you have some wind in your face?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think used to come up with a lot of ideas, product ideas, business ideas, import, export, just anything. And I just really wanted to come up with something that you could go do and run and just make happen. And then usually every time I came up with an idea, within a couple days, I'd figure out why it wasn't going to work, right? So then you park it.
Hate that. I had 2 of those yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. I had 2 yesterday. My wife shot them both down. So talking about wife, I know your wife, Megan, and you have 3 daughters, and they are beautiful and intelligent. That's a win-win. And, Andrew, I've known you for 6 years, again, from our subdivision, and they throw a wonderful party at Halloween. It's their thing. But what I want to know is, where did it start for you? What kind of high school student were you, a kid, and where do you come from?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts.
That's not your fault.
I know.
That's where his parents. No, I love it. There's more Boston people in our neighborhood than
There's
anywhere.
way more. Yeah. I'm right at home. Yeah. So
go Patriots! Can't believe I saw you.
It was a great run.
Traitor.
No, I will never ever watch the Super Bowl ever again.
Which Super Bowl?
One the Falcons lost. 28.
You got to be more specific.
I think it was 17.
I don't want to say it.
17.
17.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
That was a rough one.
Even I felt bad going into the office the next day. I was like, ugh.
Because y'all had enough rings. Give the Falcons one.
I just didn't want it to happen that way. It was crushing. So I was
It was.
Well, it was a coin toss, right? We've talked about it. That was.
Yeah.
Was that the overtime? That was the overtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not how overtime should work, in my opinion. But
I'm fine with them changing it after the fact.
After the fact. So you're in Boston. You're growing up. Are you on your own, or you have brothers? Siblings?
Yeah, I got a brother, a sister. Just normal. Just grew up, went to school, that kind of thing.
Sports.
Tons of sports. Always playing sports.
Hockey,
football, baseball, lacrosse, basketball. Just anything.
Money. I didn't know what lacrosse was, because I grew up in South Fulton County. Did you know what lacrosse was?
No. I think I learned it in 8th grade. We played it for a few weeks, and then that was it.
No money. Older brother had hand-me-downs.
Okay, so no money. So it's not like you were a silver spoon kid using daddy's money to come up with your ideas.
No.
All right, so where do you go? Do you go to college or no?
Yeah, went to engineering school up in Massachusetts, a school called WPI.
Okay.
Engineering school. Yeah.
So you graduated there.
Graduated, and then went right into, actually got a master's degree in fire engineering.
Wow.
Which, of course, doesn't really apply anymore, but that's fine. It's a mechanical engineering field.
Okay.
So so it's mechanical engineering. Moved all around the country in consulting jobs.
Okay.
And
In the engineering field?
yeah.
So anybody you can mention that you consulted or worked with or any products?
It was buildings. So
Okay.
fire safety was about getting people in and out of buildings that, safely, right? And they're
Right.
unique buildings. So Capitol Building, Smithsonian,
I've been in both.
National Archives, all those types of buildings. A lot of historic buildings, right?
Wow. So you're like, if something were to go south, this is how we get you out.
I forgot all that stuff.
It's gone.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. So
Yeah.
now you're doing consulting jobs. At what point do you meet your wife?
So I was in Minnesota consulting, and she came out for a trade show. She was running the trade show for the for the whole thing, and I saw her at the sign-in booth.
Hot blonde.
Yeah,
I can say it. I got a hot brunette.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jeff's been married a couple
I
times.
agree.
You've had, but in other words, there's something about that when you see somebody with a lot of energy and hair, you're just like, boom.
Well, and she's got a lot of energy and hair.
She does.
Yeah, and it was great. So we hit it off, and then we just talked during the show, and then
How old were y'all? Is this like years out of college?
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah, and then we didn't talk for about 6 months, and then she called me and said, "Hey, we got another trade show coming. You guys interested?" And I said, "Yeah. What's your number again?" And so we hit it off, and after that,
Started dating. And then you get married somewhere along then. Now, you're not where you need to be in life when you get married. And I think that's the biggest challenge for anybody, is because you love your wife, you love your life, but there comes a point in time when you're throwing money at ideas or you're trying startups and you don't have benefits, and I assume you had benefits doing what you were doing. So where's that transition for you?
Well, the hard part is that if you don't have a big backing, you got to do two things at once, which a lot of people do. It's a common story, and
He's
it's a real
doing
Day job.
Yeah, day job.
day job, night job.
Jeff's had a day job for 30 years, is why he's chased radio on a part-time level. Radio was my full-time job. Now it's a part of what I do.
Yeah.
Because you lose that corporate money, but you have the freedom now to do things you could not do under a corporate, vision. In other words, they kind of own you.
Yeah, they own you, and I mean it's one of those things where if you're trying to do a good job, you got to be focused here, and then you got to completely switch gears. And it gets more complicated with kids, right?
Yeah.
Because you get home and it's been a big day there. Kids want your attention, you want to give them your attention, so you got to find a way to piece it together.
Are you like a lot of people? One person, and I'll toss him out there because I've worked with him, and Jeff's worked with him, and he's also helped us both in court. Jeff for worse reasons. Me, it's just traffic court. But we're talking about George Stein. And George Stein is a well-known DUI lawyer. Now he does personal injury, and he does stuff for bikers. But he started his companies, and he wrote a book first for DUI law. And I'm like, where did you find the time? And he told me, I woke up at 4:30 every morning and wrote until 6:30, got a shower, and went about my day. When and how do you, when you got the idea for the Veer, how did that come about, and when did you work on it? Because you're right, your kids want your time.
It came about when I was coaching my kids' soccer team, and
So that's not that long ago.
no, it's longer than you think. Yeah, it's like 2014 or so.
Okay.
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, and
So you're still doing your day job consulting, and you see at the soccer, you see a potential idea.
Yeah. I saw people. So you know the Rush Fields. You have a parking lot up here, and you have the fields down here, and a big gravel path to get up. And the people, moms and dads, are trying to push their strollers up the hill, and it wasn't working. It was digging in. It just wasn't working. And so I asked them. I said, "Why don't you?" I said, "What?" First off, I said, "Just turn around and pull your stroller up the hill."
Yeah.
And so then I noticed over a couple of weeks that people started doing that. So like, oh, they like that. And so I saw a mom in the parking lot. I was like, "So why don't you bring your wagon instead of your stroller?" She says, "Well, it doesn't fit in the car." And she had a minivan. I was like, "There's no way." And so
It has to fit.
how can it not fit? And so I went home and I had an old wagon and I had a minivan and I put it in there and it didn't close. So I was like, "Wow, that's really weird."
So you owned a minivan?
My wife.
Can you hold your hand out? Just hold it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, it was your wife's, not yours. Okay. I just like
You
your
have a
hand.
minivan, right?
No, I do not. I have an SUV and a truck. I can't do it.
You seem like a minivan guy.
Oh, that hurt. Hit my. So you've realized a wagon doesn't fit.
Yep.
And then
So
what?
so then that's really the story of it. I was like, well, let's make one that folds because it didn't really exist. And that was a night, get the kids to bed and then go out in the garage and just just made a prototype. And
You did this by yourself, or who were you working with?
At this time, it was just by myself. So I got the prototype. I built the prototype, and like I told you,
how do you build a prototype? Is it one of the? I mean,
So I'm an engineer, but I'm a engineer marketing kind of. I'm a decent engineer, but you need real engineers to go build real prototypes. What I did was just build a prototype to see if I liked how it folded, if it actually worked.
Right.
And I said at the beginning that you always kind of have ideas, and then within a couple of days you can figure out why it's not going to work, and so you move on to the next one. This one I couldn't figure out why it wasn't going to work, so I kept going, and then I had a prototype. I was like, this thing is great. I still have it in my basement.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, at this point, can you take this is a picture. Let's show a picture of the prototype, can we?
Sure.
All right, here we go. This is a picture of the prototype you built. How long did it take you to build this prototype?
Just a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
And it's still functional. What is it made of? I'm kind of looking at it.
Wood and PVC piping and bolts.
Yeah. And bolts. All right.
Cobbled together wheels and just whatever you could find lying around.
So now you see where it started. We'll push on. So you take it as far as you can take it. And what's Megan, your wife, saying? What's anybody saying? They're like, this is cool. Hey, you're onto something.
I think she was happy. I was just doing something at night and
not watching TV.
Yeah, I was just having a good time out there. And I was like, I think it's, and she lied. I mean, it was interesting because, like I said, she got the idea. And she's like, oh, that I can see why that would work. And then,
are y'all yin and yang, or you compliment, or are y'all same?
Yin and yang.
See, I'm way yin and yang too. Are you? Yeah. I mean,
the creative type.
I'm the creative. You're the creative, but you're also, it sounds like you're a little bit of both. You're a little left and right brain thinking.
I'm more straight line.
Engineering.
Engineering. And so. But that doesn't mean that I didn't spend a lot of time just coming up with ideas.
Sure.
But yeah, I tend to lock in more closely on, okay, so now that this is an idea, how do I go from here to all the way up to here?
Right.
And that turned out to be really helpful and useful because it's a long road to go from an idea to something that actually works.
So at the time, there were no wagons that were folding up like yours.
Yeah,
that was a new thing. Is it patentable? You have a patent on this?
Got numerous. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So you had to protect yourself in how many different areas with how many different patents based on it, not just name.
Yeah, no, I think we've got. If you set aside Europe and all that stuff, it's just in the U.S. I think we have 9 issued patents.
To protect yourself from this being duplicated on any level.
Yeah, various parts of it, right? So wagons existed, but this does things that most wagons don't. Including this was the first time that you had a wagon that actually met the baby stroller standards. So every other one, you have these really expensive, great strollers that people are researching and putting their babies in, and then as soon as they're done with the stroller, after 18 months, they put them into these cheap wagons that have all these pinch points and dangerous parts about them because they're not really designed for kids. So the whole idea was make this thing, as safe as and perform like a stroller.
Well, right now you're looking at a picture of the wagon we're talking about. So you've seen where it started. This is where it's ended up.
I still find it hard to believe that no one, it took this long for someone to come up with it.
It took Andrew Bowman.
So real quick, was there any other inventions or ideas you had before this when you were working in your garage or trying to build something? Were there any other products that you were working on that you're like you said, oh, this isn't going to work?
You know what Jeff's doing right now? We want to see some spaghetti that didn't stick to the wall. We want to know you're human, so we see your success. Let's hear some failures.
I never got even as far as the prototype phase. So, for example, just ideas on baby toys, or I had an idea that actually my kids invented. We were driving along long road trip, and they were fighting with each other in the back seat. 2 kids, we have 3. The other one was in the way back, ignoring everybody, and they were fighting with each other. So I took a blanket and covered up basically from the front, the 2 seats, covered up the blanket, from the front seat to the back seat. And they had these little dividers between them.
So you separated and you gave them rooms in a car.
There were tents.
Tents in a car.
So we had this car tent idea, and the kids loved it. They had their own spot. Didn't hear from them for several hours. Like, this could work. And so we got into that one. I'm like, it's not going to work. Stuff like that.
One stain on the wall.
Oh yeah.
But I know it's time and thought. But it sounds like you're smarter than maybe a lot of us. When you see it's not going to work, you just bail. You're not attached to it, or do you put money into some of your prototypes?
Well, yes, you put time and money into everything, right? But then you just sort of say, okay, this is not. I don't think it's going to work. Here's why. What's the next step?
Still doing your day job.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things you do. You had benefits through that. When you quit your day job, you lost your benefits. Were you a 99 guy for a minute? Or did you start a company immediately and had insurance?
No, it was a major gamble. I left the company that I was at. I talked to my wife and said, I'm going to do this. And she's like, that sounds good. I don't think she really heard me.
Had you already been selling them, or were you still in the prototype phase?
Yeah, very, very early on. It was just an idea at the time.
And you went ahead and quit and went to full time before you even were selling.
Well,
anything.
so I left to pursue, and then the next day I was like, okay, that was a big mistake.
Oh damn!
And so, fortunately, I had friends in the industry around here and all that stuff, and one of them reached out to me. I didn't reach out to her; she reached out to me and said, hey, I got a rollover at this company that might be interesting. I said, okay. Also, I went and talked to him and ended up taking that. I talked to the guy and said, look, I really like this job, but I can't take it because I'm going to pursue this. He came from an entrepreneurial background. He's like, well, why don't you do both? And no problem.
We'll give you some flexibility.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? That's what you look for. Can I do both?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the beauty of it is that we ended up working so well together. It was a company he was running that I came to him about 2 years later, said, here's where it's at. And I think we should be business partners on Veer, and so he's my business partner on Veer.
Wow. I love it. What's his name? Can you say?
Nick McKay.
Nick McKay, way to go! And Nick's obviously local.
Yeah, down in Atlanta.
Oh man, down in Atlanta. So at this time, I know where your location is now. Where were y'all working? Where were you driving? Were you living in Milton at this point?
Yeah, the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just driving. Where were y'all?
So before starting Veer, I was going down to the 285.
Okay.
And then once we stopped Veer, once we started Veer, we needed a place to distribute the initial. So we had product coming into the U.S., had to ship from overseas, and had to get it out to customers. So we launched our website and got some orders.
And that was 2017?
2017, yeah.
And again, the website is right here. It is, again, what, Veer?
Go Veer.
GoVeer.com. GoVeer.com. Feel free to keep watching. I mean, I say watch all the time because I like the YouTube viewers, which is why I showered. I don't mind that you listen to this on other
platforms.
Sources.
Yeah, we're on all the streaming platforms.
We're on all streaming platforms, but I dig YouTube. So, Andrew and I, we showered together. We lived down the street today. We got ready together.
Saves water.
Safe water. That's why, and then Jeff showed up and wanted to shower. We said no. But that's the humor of radio right there. Getting into a podcast that's talking about engineering. Never thought you could do that, could you? I can screw with anything. But no, we're good guys. And real quick, that's what I want to mention because I just want to say this is a great guy to hang out with because he loves bourbon. And our sponsor is Come On Bourbon Whiskey by Legends, and you get a souvenir bottle for being on the show.
All right.
I just ask that you don't drink and drive, drink at home, and call me.
Done deal.
Done deal. And then, some things pay the bills. Another thing where we're at right now in our studio, Circle 285 works out of this location, and I want to thank Circle 285 for being a proud sponsor of the Come On Show podcast. And that is kind of entrepreneurial in a way just because we look at insurance. People like Jeff, he and his wife, they love to replace the roof. Or people got sons or daughters that wreck cars and you're lumped in with them. But if you can go to 25 of the top companies and there's a company that can place you and put you there or keep you with said company and cut out the middleman, you can save hundreds and thousands of dollars a year. So go to circle285.com. I got a couple more sponsors, but I'll wait for a moment. And now's a good point to look at what really grabbed the attention of those in the parking lot when we carried these up to our studio. And this we're going to look at now is a stroller, but is it just a stroller? Tell me about that product. Again, we're going from your past to your present. That's incredible. That is beyond me. Because I've been over to his office and my kids have actually assisted. He's like, hey, do you mind bringing over your boys? They're the right size. I want to put them in some prototypes. So he's strapping my son in and he realized that doesn't work. And he's asking I think my 4-year-old, are your legs, do you have room? And they're answering questions and people are looking at the kids, but not as cute kids. They're just looking at their legs and their feet and how they fit. and how things work.
Yep.
And I found it so interesting. And then I see that you can, what's that machine where you make the plastic things?
3D printing.
Yeah, thank you. It's that simple. I didn't know. But he's got a 3D printing machine. I'm like, what do you make?
You did for the prototypes, I guess.
Yep.
That's how you make all the parts
Yeah.
that are.
Yeah. We've come a long way since the garage.
Since the garage, so he's got his 3D printing machine and he's making parts, and it's like, okay, let's try to make it a little bigger. Go ahead, Billy, make the part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so cool. And then when you walk in the lobby, you're like, there's Veer tents for the beach, for infants, or for kids to play in, and you're looking at this product line, and he's even so. You know, you don't have the ego. You're such a great guy. You're just like, that's something we're working with. What do you think? And I'm like, oh my God. I would be holding this over my head going, look what I did. And you're not that kind of guy, which is wonderful. And I love it. And I think you're perfect for it. But tell us what that was. The stroller. I'd never seen where you can click in the two. And then the cooler's new to me.
Yeah, so the whole idea with that was, so the wagon, the cruiser, we call it the cruiser.
Okay, the name. So you got the cruiser wagon, and you have a bigger one?
Cruiser XL. Very clever, right? Yeah, 4-seater.
We could have called it the Cruiser Platinum, but we didn't. You're just cutting edge.
And kept it simple.
Okay.
And so the whole idea with the cruiser was it's a crossover between a stroller and a wagon, right?
Got it.
So then we said, well, now we have strollers out there. What are the problems with strollers? One of them is that strollers, parents buy 4 or 5 different strollers through the course of the time. And they get a new one, they get rid of the other one, and all this other stuff. So I was like, why don't we create a stroller where you have a seat and a stroller, and then once you want a different stroller, all you have to do is buy the frame and move the seat from this one to this one.
Right.
And then people like going for bike rides who want to create a bike rack that you can take the seat out of the stroller and put it on the back of your bike, or put it on a little chair. We got a little camp chair. You can see all this online. It's really cool stuff.
I like the camp chair too. Yeah. That is really cute. Super little fold out. Awesome.
And keeping everything in this Veer ecosystem where everything kind of has to go together. That's a brilliant.
Clicks.
But that keeps you locked in. Yeah. So if you get a customer with a little baby, hopefully they keep upgrading and exchanging out parts to use it to get the most out of it.
It's great, because the idea is so the seat also goes on the wagon, on the cruiser. So if you have a cruiser, or you have a stroller, and then you want to buy the cruiser, you can put your seat from there, the stroller onto the cruiser, and you can do. Really, it's about giving flexibility. You can start with one product, and then hopefully you love it, and a lot of people do, and they decide to continue to expand, and we just want to be there for them. So this idea was about, it's called the switchback stroller, and it's all about taking the seat, moving it around, and giving a lot of functionality to the seat. The other thing with the seat is you can take it out, fold it, and use it as a booster seat when you're out and about at tables and restaurants and all that stuff.
Who thought of that? You thought of that. So are you head engineer, or how many now that you've grown? And we know that you and your partner have started a business together. Is it just the two of you, or are there others?
Oh, there's definitely others. And,
okay.
and without any doubt, we would never be where we are without everybody we've met along the way.
People have helped you.
Yeah. I mean, the engineering side, we've got an amazing engineer who leads all of that. We work together, but he's a great engineer. And
so you take it here and he takes it there. Is that wrong?
I have an idea. I got a prototype. It's 3 years of work that I couldn't have done to get it to the point where we could make this thing in production. Wow. Now, it's a team effort, but I couldn't have done it without him.
Oh.
And then, these types of products are ones that people have to be proud to use. It can't just be about how it folds. It has to look great. And so
that's the other thing, and it's got to be eye-catching.
Yeah, and we have an industrial designer that's been with us since the very beginning who helps to kind of make things look the way they look. So
they can decorate my house because they've done a great job with the wagons, whoever your industrial designer is. Yeah. Tell me real quick, the yellow Veer, there's one tire that'll have a little spot of yellow. Where did that come in? Because that's what is eye-catching.
Yeah, that was sort of a last-minute ad at the end of as we're designing. We're like, you know what, we got to have something to
hook. You need some kind of hook, visual
something
hook.
Just The wagon itself is a sort of an iconic design now, in that it's really the only one that looks like it. And so when you see it from the side, you have sort of the contour, and then you have the yellow. Yeah. And that was all by design and with the intent of standing out. So veer, of course, is everybody's going this way, we veer off. And that's.
I wonder where the name came in. Okay. I'm pretty quick, but I didn't get the veer off the trail. So rather than following the path of others, go where there is no trail, veer off, and leave a trail.
Yep.
Okay.
Brilliant. Look at that.
Which makes it fun to develop products, right? So,
Yeah.
you can almost get too carried away with ideas, and we probably have at times. But
Do you think yeah, go ahead.
You're constantly coming up with new. You're not saying, hey, okay, we got these two products. We can kind of sit on rest for a while and sell these. You're constantly working on new ideas, new products, new integrations, or whatever.
Yeah, for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's first off, we're designers we're a design house that actually has the ability to launch our product, to brand it and market it and make it into a business versus design for others. We design for ourselves, but we really design for our consumers. And so the consumer thing, so you asked about the new stroller and why a cooler, right? So most of our products get young families to places.
Yes.
But now we want to help when they get to those places. We want them to have more fun together, spend more time out together. Coolers are great, right? So wagons tend to be going places where it's fun. So are coolers. Coolers are always there. So, we know that they have coolers. Why not make a cooler that works with our system?
Whether it's juice boxes or beers. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It's whatever you want. Your entertainment.
Well, this one's in the beer location, right? Because it's up high, closer to the yeah. Yeah.
I love it, and I love the colors too. And as we saw in the demonstration, how it just slides in, slides out, or like you said, you got double stroller if you're in that situation. But once a child's old enough to walk next to you, one's still in the stroller. That now you're in cooler times, or in an adult situation. Yes, you don't have to carry anything. And also I love the attachments that are in the front that just click in, that you can put things in, the wife's purse, or when you go to any of the little fairs, like we have lots of fairs around here where you go and you're buying can this or that, or your wife bought a hat, you're just putting everything in that little pouch so it doesn't get crushed and your kids are still in the vehicle.
Yeah. And it's fun, because there was nothing like that when we first launched it.
Right. An attachment to a wagon. Yeah. Any attachment.
Yeah, it's fun to develop stuff for this because there's no template for a lot of this stuff.
I just want to tell you, Red Ryder, I'm here to say it. You heard it here. Is it Red Ryder or Red Baron? Which is the red wagon?
Radio Flyer.
Radio Flyer.
Okay, I was thinking of the BB gun, wasn't I?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of with Red Baron? Snoopy?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we're talking about the Radio Flyer. That wagon is over. I never had one. I think we just had a regular red wagon. And everybody wanted them to be red because if you couldn't have the Radio Flyer, you had a red wagon. Those days are done. And I hated it when you put anything in your car. I used to hear my dad turn a corner, wham, wham, in the back of the station wagon, and he hated it. And the good news is there's a lock on the Veer, and it locks. And that is so cool. Is there anything else just before we close? Because I love hearing things that don't work. Is there any other invention that you think was good that you tried and you CX'd it?
Jeez.
Because tint in the car didn't work.
Honestly, I've wiped that out of my memory, but yeah.
I'm here to bring you back to your failures.
Well, I think the funniest one was actually not a product. It was I'd learned how to source products from overseas, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do an import-export business. Sounded like Seinfeld,
Art Vandelay.
Yeah, Art Vandelay Industries, and like this sounded like a good idea, right? And so I got all into that. I figured it all out, and then I was like, what am I really going to do this? There's no way I can pull this off, And then there's a million people out there doing that, and they were going to do better than I was. I didn't even really know what I was doing, but it was fun to try and figure it out. So I shelved that and quickly, not too quickly, actually.
Well, having your own product is going to be...
It makes all the difference, right? Yeah, because we do the import-export, it's import, but it's, at this point, it's before I was trying to sell anything, right? And, it wasn't going to work. So
right.
Yeah. So don't be afraid of half-baked ideas, because you can get rid of them.
Yeah.
Let them percolate a little bit. If sometimes something else will come from it. Who knows?
That's the thing. And from our sponsors to anybody that comes on the show, it's just about. I hate saying it, but do you buy into anybody that's successful tried one more time?
Yeah. I mean. Because eventually that one more time is the one that really that becomes the last time, because that's the one you put your time into.
Do you think there's anybody out there who's just cursed and they'll never find it? I mean, somebody's got to ask.
Well, I mean,
Jeff's been cursed.
I'm almost 50, but I got a little ways to go.
Yeah. How old were you when the Veer locked in? Yeah, because he's 50 and still trying.
40.
Man, 40, he's 10 years ahead. 40. He locked in. And I got to tell you, quickly, just because they pay the bills, and these are companies that are doing it right. David Markwell. You go to markwelltherapy.com. That's markwelltherapy.com. I've got a 3-year-old about to be 4, one that just turned 7. Andrew knows my kids. I know his daughters. They babysat. And, to me, I look at kids. Do you see the issues? Did any of your daughters go through stuff? Because the good thing about Markwell Therapy, it's a lot of kids are having trouble, and it's about counseling for a child or an adult, but a lot of people are working through stuff. We talk about it all the time. I still think people are reeling from the pandemic and what they went through.
Yeah.
Which is why, David Markwell, markwelltherapy.com, you got to go there. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I hate it, but you want to help people. And then lastly, another great sponsor, Joe Bees. This is something I got to get Andrew on, because if I keep him alive, God knows what he'll invent over the next 40 years. But bee pollen, joebees.com. Go to joebees.com. This is something I've been taking 2 capsules a day on an empty stomach before I have coffee or anything, and it is the adult vitamin. And I realize the bee plays such a role in the circle of life. That's something I got into, because there's 2 things I think you need to do in life is do the best you can to find out what you love, do what you love if you can for a job or career, and that's the purpose of this podcast. But also, you got to be healthy for your friends and family.
Oh, yeah.
And bee pollen does it for me. So try it. It's the adult vitamin. Again, it gives you energy and crushed my allergies. I literally only deal with allergy medicine for like 2 weeks. I used to deal with it for about 3 months. So I 100% believe in it and back it. That's joebees.com. Those paid our bills. The Veer is paying your bills. And I just want to show you right now in closing, these are just a few pictures of me and my family that you see out at different things like the Crabapple Festival or the Alpharetta Festival, but I'm out in the Veer and I take pictures of it for 2 reasons. Number one, I love my kids, but it's really about marketing the Veer. I try to do stuff for Andrew due to his kindness to me and the people that work with Andrew, and that's everyone I've never met and hopefully people I will meet one day, because I will tell you, this product is a success, and this was a success. The spaghetti has stuck on the wall. There is no more wind in Andrew Bowman or the people he works with's face. It's creative time. There's a calm, and I say congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You got it.